Congressman. This is what Congressman Lieu didn't want to talk about. He didn't want to talk about all the crime that is happening in his state. California refuses to honor detainees because of its dangerous sanctuary city policies. The refusal means California has released 4,561 criminal illegal aliens onto its street. The crimes of these aliens include 31 homicides, 661 assaults, 574 burglaries, 184 robberies, 1,489 dangerous drug offenses, 379 weapons offenses, and 234 sexual predator offenses. That's why they are deflecting. That's why they're trying to talk about the Epstein files. That's currently happening in his home state.
Watch this. Smarmy California Democrat tries to smear AG Pam Bondi with Epstein nonsense, and she turns the tables like a boss. This is what Congressman Lieu didn't want to talk about. California refuses to honor detainees released 4,561 criminal illegal aliens, 31 homicides, 661 assaults, 574 burglaries. Boom. 31 families destroyed, kids victimized, all because leftist politicians care more about illegals than American citizens. This is the real cost of sanctuary insanity, blood on blue state hands. Everyday, hardworking folks like you and me are paying the price in fear and funerals. If this doesn't boil your blood, check your pulse. Smash that like if you're done with the cover-ups. Drop Secure the Border below and subscribe to Elena Raw and Unfiltered for more truth bombs. Let's get back to the video.
Attorney General, thank you for being here, and I wanted to make sure you had time to respond. I'm going to change gears a little bit. In October, when you were testifying before the Senate, I know you and my friend Senator Katie Britt discussed concerns of infiltration of the illegal Chinese vapes into our country. As a father of three, obviously, I'm worried a little bit about this, and I believe that many parents in the country share our similar concerns. Can you provide an update on DOJ's work in this space over the past few months?
Yes, and thank you for bringing that up. We're talking about the vapes. And this should be an issue where both sides of the aisle can work together on. Parents need to understand, children need to understand that so many of these are being manufactured in China, sent to our country, and have the potential to be laced with lethal drugs. We've seen an overdose. We need to get on the front end of this before we have another crisis and children are dying. I've partnered with Secretary Kennedy, of course, at HHS on this matter, but thank you for bringing it up. You know, they're selling these things as flavored vapes illegally in many stores around the country. Secretary Kennedy and I actually we went and did something on this, and it was sadly the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And so it didn't get a lot of attention, nor should it have after that happened. But yes, we're continuing to work on that, and thank you for bringing that up. That's happening in all of our states, and I would ask everyone here, I know Congresswoman Ross was just nodding, it's happening in every state. And not only are they laced with THC, many of these vapes, but they could be laced with fentanyl. We have had a child, I wish I could think of the state it was in, but we have already had someone overdose, and we have to get together on this, and we have to get on the front end of this, and I would love to work across the aisle on this to protect our kids. How many school kids do you see now vaping? And it's not only, I believe a vape has 20 cigarettes, but you know, that's one vape is 20 cigarettes, I believe it is, but also what they could be laced with, because so many of them, the majority of them, are manufactured in China.
Sure, and if you need additional resources, please let us know as you're going through the process. And I'm going to change gears one more time on you. Under the Biden administration, there was a lot of confusion created when parts of the DOJ began treating software developers like financial institutions. Even when they did not hold or control anyone's money, they were simply building the technology. That uncertainty made it harder for Americans to build, innovate here at home. Earlier this year, the Deputy Attorney General issued a memo entitled Ending Regulations by Prosecution, a clear break from the Biden administration's approach, and I think it's important that that's a good step in the right direction, but can you talk a bit about how the DOJ is now putting that memo into practice, especially when it comes to making sure that people are just writing the software and don't control the user's funds, we don't want them treated as an unlicensed money, or they're not money transmitters, so.
Yes, and we're doing everything we can to protect the American people on that, and I would refer everyone to Deputy Attorney General Blanche's memo, and we're working as hard as we can on that topic.
Because we want to lead the way in the space on that, so we'd appreciate the help. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll yield back 10 seconds.
Gentleman yields back. We'll recognize the gentleman from Arizona for unanimous consent.
Look, folks, this hearing wasn't political theater. It was a sobering reminder of how deeply everyday Americans have been failed by the people entrusted to govern. Families across this country are dealing with higher prices, rising crime, and cultural instability. And instead of accountability, we get deflection. California Democrats like Ted Lieu would rather pivot to side issues than confront the consequences of policies they've championed for years. Since President Donald Trump took office in January 2025, the facts coming out of California are impossible to ignore. Sanctuary policies have resulted in thousands of criminal illegal aliens being released back into communities, individuals charged with violent crimes, drug offenses, weapons violations, and sexual crimes. These aren't abstract numbers. These are real victims, real families, and real neighborhoods paying the price, while political leaders in Sacramento look the other way. Governor Gavin Newsom and his allies continue to refuse cooperation with federal authorities, even as tens of thousands of criminal offenders sit in state jails with active ICE detainers. That isn't compassion, it's negligence. At the same time, another threat is quietly targeting our children. Dangerous, illegal vapes, many manufactured in China, are flooding American communities. These products are designed to look harmless, but they're anything but. Some contain massive doses of nicotine. Others are laced with THC or worse. Attorney General Pam Bondi made it clear, this is not accidental. These products are manufactured overseas, smuggled in, and sold illegally, and we're already seeing overdoses among young people. That's not just a public health issue, it's a national security concern. Bondi, working alongside Robert F. Kennedy Jr., is moving aggressively to seize these products and shut down the pipelines before more families are devastated. And then there's the long overdue course correction at the Department of Justice. For years, the Biden DOJ treated American software developers and crypto innovators as criminals simply for building technology, using prosecution as a substitute for regulation. That approach scared off innovation and pushed talent overseas. Now, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche has issued a clear directive ending regulation by prosecution. Bondi confirmed it plainly: creators should not be punished for building tools, and policy debates belong with regulators and lawmakers, not criminal courts. This is what responsible governance looks like: secure borders, the rule of law, protection for children, and an economy that rewards work and innovation. The left distracts because their policies don't work, but Americans over 40 know the difference between rhetoric and results. We've lived it, and right now the country is moving back towards sanity, step by step. If this matters to you, stay engaged. Like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment with one word that matters most to you: border, kids, or freedom. Share this with people who care about the future of this country. This is Elena, raw and unfiltered, steady, honest, and focused on results. God bless America.